Over here. Good afternoon, you guys. I'm a school social worker, and my name is Jordan White, and I will be leading this session on managing test anxiety. But first, I would like for everybody to introduce themselves, and we'll just go down the list. So, Ko, if you don't mind to introduce yourself and just tell me one fun fact about you, and then we'll just keep going down the list.
Hi, my name is Nicole, and one fun fact about me is that I love zoos.
Thank you. All right, Taylor, your turn.
Okay, so hello, my name's Taylor White, and then one thing cool about me is I love dogs.
Ashley?
My name is Ashley, and I used to have a pet skunk.
Interesting. My mom actually had a pet squirrel. And no, like it was. But what students say is test anxiety. Some things people say, students say, it's I'm okay until I get into the room. And for me though, it's like everyone's talking about the test and what they studied and what they think will be on the test. It makes me so nervous. I start to freak out. Another one is I'm working on the test, and then when I encounter something I'm not sure of, I start to panic. My chest gets tight, my stomach starts cringing, and I get sweaty, and I feel overwhelmed. And I don't care about the test or how I do on it. I just want to get it over with and get it out of there. Another one is I start to think about what will happen if I don't do well on the test and things snowball and I lose my focus. Even if I know the answer, I start to blank out and struggle to find the right words to explain it or start to think about other things. As soon as I leave the room, I remember everything and can answer the question. And that's just some of the responses. That's like my response. And then these are some of the responses students shared with test anxiety. So I have a question for the audience. How can we assist students with overcoming difficult battle, which is test anxiety? So I ask that everybody in the group have a paper or a pencil or think about answers we can have for assisting students with overcoming this difficult battle. And I'll give you guys 2 minutes and then we'll share the answers with me and then everybody in the group. So I'm gonna have mine right here too, and I'm gonna share kind of how I think we can overcome this difficult battle too. So I'm gonna share mine real quick. Some of the ways I think we can assist students with overcoming this difficult battle is I think that we can have them have more confidence, help them gain more confidence in this battle, because like it is hard for like people with test anxiety and for people to deal with it. And for me myself, I have a little test anxiety, so it's kind of hard to. And just having somebody assist me with that has been like crucial, like counselors and stuff like that. But we can all find different ways that will help students, and we can see where if it's positive or negatives. But I'll let you guys share. Nicole, do you mind to share?
So what I've came up with the way to help students with test anxiety is one, we could not label the test as a test. Because when students see the word test, we automatically freak out. So let's not label a test, like maybe label a worksheet. And that could be a test run. See how that goes. See how kids perform on a test compared to a worksheet. Because my thing is you can't really grade a student's ability on a test when someone has test anxiety. And then another reason that I was thinking of is, what if the students didn't talk about a test? What if we didn't tell them they were having a test? I think that would help. and not
Thank
like
you,
a
Nicole.
pop quiz or anything. That's the two things I really came up with because I know for me, test anxiety is a big problem. And when I see test, I go blank. So I think if teachers gave us more confidence, we believed in ourselves, we'd go a long ways.
Thank you for sharing. I agree with every point you said there. I think it's something that we have to all look at and address and like not brush it off. But once again, thank you for sharing. Like I appreciate it. Tara, do you mind to share?
Yeah. One way a teacher can help students with test anxiety is by before a test, give students a short break to flush out the nerves and thoughts. So before the test, they can do like a game, like a stress-free game, not talking about the test, and everybody can just talk about what they feel about the test, or like even do like uh, Quizlet and have a Quizlet, and then you could go over the material with the class by making it to a game. So whoever gets the most correct answers, well, they can get like maybe a gift card or something nice as a reward. And then you could also practice answering the questions for the students. The teachers can like just go over like different ways to answer the question and just make them feel comfortable.
Thank you so much, Tara, for sharing. I think that's like a helpful way to battle this difficult battle of test anxiety. And I think that's probably a huge issue that we can maybe enforce too, is bringing like maybe some awards into people with test anxiety. Ashley?
I typed it in the chat.
You're fine. Oh, okay. Oh, let me see. Okay, yeah, giving students enough amount of time and not giving time tests or quizzes, teaching positive self-talk with students. I think that's a huge and very helpful way to also. Thank you guys so much for sharing. So the next way we can do it is ways to assist students on overcoming test anxiety. I think one way to help students for me is to identify students who experience heightened in levels of anxiety when taking tests. Another one is like most people feel some level of stress when preparing for and taking tests, and type of nerves that can foster students' motivation, memory, and attention, and hence test performance too is another way to assist students on overcoming test anxiety. Some examples of on feedback teachers can say to the students, the role of the teacher feedback is crucial in anything, and let alone it be test anxiety, other outside factors, it's crucial. In addition to grading test teams as correct or incorrect, you can provide students with feedback on their effort. Some feedback you can say is, you really worked hard to learn this, or you did a great job, or you showed you learned this because of how. After testing, prompt their students to reflect on their test performance by completing sentences. Another sentence you can say is, can you think of another way you could have answered this? Just, positive feedback, especially with trying to help them with their feedback and help them gain more confidence. Another thing you can say is the things that can do to be successful on future tests, or is another way you can help them with feedback. Does anybody else have any feedback maybe they want to share on how we can help the students? And if you don't want to, or you don't feel comfortable, it's totally understand. I totally understand. Or you can put it in the chat box too if you want to.
I would
There's
say,
Oh, go ahead. I think it was Taylor. Go ahead real quick.
I think for me personally, like playing like motivating speeches before a test, like I like Grey's Anatomy. So like one scene they did was the Superman or superhero scene where the doctor was before she went in for surgery, she was just talking to herself and she was saying she's a superhero. But I just think like motivating speeches before could help students with test anxiety, like having to see, well, allow them to see somebody else, would probably help them better.
Thank you so much for sharing. Those are really good examples. Nicole, do you have anything? I think you were trying to say something.
Well, I think another example would be like, you know how teachers, we get a quiz or test back, teachers automatically say, oh, it's just wrong, they put an X on it. I think instead of teachers saying it's wrong, they should either give us that second chance to let us correct it, see if we can identify the mistake. And if we can't identify the mistake, then that's when you should meet one-on-one with the teacher, and the teacher should explain why I missed that question.
For sure. I think those are all crucial things and ways that teachers can like have feedback for students with test anxiety and managing test anxiety. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything in the chat box real quick. Let's see. No. Okay, yeah. I think those are all great answers. I think that it will take time for us to figure out really like some feedback on test anxiety, managing it in ways we can help each student, not just one, but like a lot of students in this difficult problem that they are facing. And I thank you guys so much for participating and sharing your answers and sharing what you guys think and ways we can manage the test anxiety, how we can assist students, how we can offer better feedback. We're going to take a quick restroom break. Restrooms can be found in Hall 206 on the right. There's drinks and snacks in the lobby, and when the session's over, we'll meet back into this room. Thank you guys so much for attending, and I'll see you guys in a few.